her curiously. She felt as if she'd been struck on the forehead with a brick. Her handbag fell to the ground. The person's face seemed lit from within. Ralph Eastman gave her a kiss on the cheek, asking how was the career girl from New York, and Buddy Wittenborn slid off the front seat and hugged her and ducked back, turning his head and pushing his glasses back on his nose. He was wearing a disheveled shirt, buttoned up wrong, and a belt outside the belt loops, and even with the beanie on his head, looked, as always, handsome. Ralph tipped the red cap, taking charge of the bags. She was down on her knees, picking up her handbag, trying to look at any other place other than at the person in the sunglasses. "Oh," Buddy said, "this is Arden." She was far enough away from the person that not to shake his hand was not rude. She didn't dare shake his hand. "Hi," she said, and smiled brightly. "That's Anne," Buddy said. "Hello, Anne." The person had a deep voice which came from somewhere deep in his chest. "We've been waiting for you, Anne." It was also kind of rough. She caught a lipstick rolling and looked up. The person was not smiling. She blushed and looked back down. "Am I that late? We stopped for a while in Providence." She felt the black glasses on her. Ralph slammed the back hatch. "A late train has been figured into the calculations. He sure will miss the ferry," Buddy said. "On the contrary, just what I plan to avoid, so let's go." The person was walking away from the car. He bent to pick something off the ground. "Harris," Ralph called, starting the car. The person came back on long, slow legs and got into the back seat beside Anne. He held up some keys attached to a St. Christopher medal. "These yours?" he said. "God," Anne said, taking her keys. "Thank you, that was idiotic." She looked straight at him. "Which is your name?" "They both are." "In what order?" "Which is better?" The face was placid, and she could not read the eyes behind the glasses. "I don't know. They're both good." "No," the person said, and he smiled for the first time. "One is always better." It was 1954, and Anne Grant was 25 years old. They drove north. She liked being the girl in a car with 3 boys. They drove through Revere, where the water was purple at the shore, and the highway was raised above the tract houses, past gas stations with enormous signs shaped like horses, and miniature golf courses with waterfalls and orange dinosaurs. They exited to Danvers, winding past steeples and fudge stores with script writing, back onto the highway where green countryside flickered out the window behind the person's profile. His name was Harris. Ralph was the one to say. Harris Arden. She sat beside Harris Arden in the back seat, and they talked now and then. He turned toward her. He'd grown up in Virginia, was born in Turkey, had lived in Switzerland. His father was a diplomat, raised in St. Louis. His mother was Turkish, which explained his coloring. Harris Arden lived in Chicago now, he said, and worked in a hospital. Then Anne Grant realized who he was. He was Dr. R., Carl's friend, whom he'd served with in Korea. But it wasn't Dr. R with a letter R, as she had thought, but Dr. A.R. for Arden. She had pictured someone older. "You're the musician," she said. "Not so much anymore." "Isn't your band playing at the wedding?" "What's left of it." "And you're a doctor, too?" Buddy said, prying open a beer with a Swiss Army knife. "Who wants a cold one?" No one took him up on it. The person didn't seem to hear and stared out the window. "Anne sings," Ralph said, facing forward, driving. "Does she?" The person looked interested. "Just for fun," Anne said, "just in little places." "In New York, little places are pretty big." "These really are little," she said. "It's not even my job." "Anne's a pretty good singer," Buddy said. "I'd like to hear her sing," said the person in the sunglasses, looking ahead. "Have you moved her?" "She was sitting up this morning." "Mrs. Lord." The smell of rosewater. "I'm sorry I'm late," said Anne Lord. "We stopped for a long time in Providence." "Mrs. Lord, you have a visitor." Anne Lord opened her eyes. "No, he's not," she said.